What time is it? Oh. Oh. Oh.
Where am I?
I don't know. What time is it?
This watch doesn't work.
Well, I guess we could start the Untitled Weekly Show.
There we go. We nailed it.
All right, first try.
First try. Okay. All right, and one.
Hold on. We gotta think of names.
Oh.
New names.
Hello, everybody. I'm Connor, the production Neil.
And I'm Aaron Zaxaby Radke.
That's right.
And this is the Untitled Weekly Show.
We already did the hua, so we're gonna keep going.
The show where we talk about what we want and you like it. Maybe one of these days we'll make the opposite, where we talk about where you want
And we don't
and we like it.
We're talking about today some of the movies that have inspired us to get into film, that inspired us to watch other movies, because we said that one wasn't so bad. Maybe the rest aren't that bad either. Maybe we'll both do like an early one, and then like a later one, and then like a real late one, like one you watched yesterday that you like.
All right, Connor, how about you go first?
All right, so I'm gonna open up with the. This movie kind of encapsulates my my childhood. This is a VHS, the blue VHS of Monsters, Inc. And I pretty much have Monsters, Inc. memorized. A lot of the movies I watched as a kid were Pixar films. They're especially the early ones were so well made, and like they were so smart, they were clever. You come back and watch them later, you're like, wow, I get that joke, and I didn't used to get that joke.
There's more to unpack.
There's way more to unpack. Probably my favorite one I'd have to say is Up, because Up makes me cry 2 times every time. At the beginning, I cry, and then I cry again at the end.
Oh.
And most movies, I might cry once, like at the end, but twice is just unheard of.
So my early one, it's an oldie but a goodie.
What a goodie.
The Iron Giant.
Goodie.
You see, I used to have the VHS of this, but then I moved out of my parents, and they're the ones hoarding the VHS collection right now. Oh, this is basically the movie that and the original Toy Story. Those 2 movies basically showed me that movies were cool, man. I wanted to talk about the Iron Giant more because A, it's not a Pixar film. It's just a random 2D animated movie. Oh yeah, 2D animation.
Pretty rare nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. Unless you're in Japan.
Unless you're in Japan.
Anime. This was a movie, as a kid, I thought it was super cool because it had a giant robot as the main character. And I was like, who doesn't like this? But then I came back to it, and it's like, there's so much going on.
This movie makes me cry every time, too.
Yes, always at the exact same spot every time.
Oh.
I've seen this movie hundreds of times.
Superman. Oh, get you.
It's so nuanced, which is something you don't see in kids' movies nowadays. All right, Connor, what's next?
So next for me is I gotta do 3 at the same time. So kind of this is gonna be hard to unpack. All right, okay, we got Monster House. Monster House is so much fun. It's the first movie that was ever done fully motion capture for CGI. This one's really cool because it has a little turn thing where the house gets progressively more monstrous and eats people. This movie's a lot of fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it as a kid. I still enjoy it now. A lot of my humor comes from that. We also did a live action scene recreation from that.
We might throw it in the comments.
It has more views than any video I've ever even
I don't know
dreamed of.
why.
Another movie is Over the Hedge. This one, I know a lot of people don't necessarily like this one. I think it's really fun. I enjoy it. And the thing I like about it the most is the soundtrack. It's by Ben Folds. And oftentimes the music, the lyrics, they're saying exactly what the main character is thinking or going through, dealing with the inner turmoil that he's dealing with. The soundtrack's phenomenal. And then the movie that my go-to favorite movie of all time is Napoleon Dynamite. And this is a 10-year anniversary that I found at Walmart one time and I couldn't pass up. This movie is my sense of humor. The first time I watched it, I hated it. I hated Napoleon. I was like, why does everybody say this movie's so good? I watched it the second time. I don't know why I watched it the second time. I loved it. And every time I've watched it since, the probably 20 plus times I've seen this movie since then, I like it more every time.
I guess that's me.
It's you.
You've all probably heard of this movie at the very least. If you haven't, you've been living under a rock.
Yeah.
But Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This basically made animation cool again.
It did.
Like, animation was cool the entire time, but this movie basically made you realize that, wow, animation was cool on such a grand scale. If you're a Spider-Man fan,
Oh yeah.
this movie is perfect. Like, it is so faithful to all the material, and it somehow can be faithful to so much material at the same time and not contradict each other. From a technical perspective, I could make an hour-and-a-half long documentary talking about one scene, essentially.
And he's gonna do it.
Maybe.
I doubt it.
In third, it's an animated movie that actually won an award.
Yeah.
Come on, this is so cool.
That's amazing. Okay, so now I got another double. These two movies, the show. I'm cheating. This is a show, but basically I watch it like a movie because I watch the whole thing every time.
Yep.
Over the Garden Wall. I'd argue that it's like the best animated show. Definitely that I think has come out in the recent years. You got characters that are likable. You got character development. It's got a mystery element.
It's got some goofy humor.
Goofy humor. The music is fantastic. The frog's name is different in every episode. This show is so good. And then Sing Street. This is a great movie. It's was it Irish? It's an Irish movie, I think. The soundtrack is amazing. I love music, okay? So a lot of the reasons I like movies oftentimes is the soundtrack. This soundtrack, it's about half the songs are original songs. The main character starts a band, and then his band makes music, and that music, a lot of it is the soundtrack. This movie, if you haven't seen it, is totally worth watching. It's just good.
Soundtracks. Great segue. Baby Driver. Now, you probably understood that I like animated movies a lot. That doesn't mean I don't love live action movies. Edgar Wright directed this movie. And he directed a lot of movies that I love that help define my humor. I was going to bring Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, but I didn't have the DVD case for it. So I grabbed Baby Driver because I have the case for it, which is also really good. But Edgar Wright's movies kind of, especially Baby Driver at this point really shows it, that you can have a movie that is so stylized. Like, this movie is basically pure style. With the way it's edited, everything is to music. Everything is to music. Footsteps, jogging, gunshots.
Car chases.
Everything is to music, like it's one giant dance.
Actually, probably the coolest car chase scene I've ever seen in a movie.
Absolutely.
At the beginning of this film.
But on top of that, they have unique characters. Are they a little simple? Yeah. But they're lovable. That you fall in love with the main character. It's not super innovative, but it does what it does so well that it didn't need to be. Mm-hmm. And a lot of that kind of just made me happy to feel like, oh, I don't have to be 100% original if I ever want to make a story. I don't have to always be original to make something good. I can just make something good. I think that closes us out with movies, a small snapshot.
This episode is making me sad because there's so many movies I'm thinking about that I wish I could have talked about, and also talked even more about these movies we did talk about. But I think this is a good example of why, of what a good movie does. A good movie makes you think, and a good movie makes you remember it. Like, a good movie is the kind of movie where you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, man, I liked that scene.
I want to watch it again.
I want to watch that movie. Good movies are rarer and rarer to find nowadays. And so when you see a really good movie,
It's special.
Yeah, it is.
Tune in next week where we list off our favorite sock companies.
Our favorite sock companies. Mm-hmm. I like Bombas.
I mean, I enjoy.
I ruined the surprise. There we go.